Hey, welcome to Tabletop Skirmish Games. I'm Lee, and in this video you'll see an unboxing and review of the TAMIYA 135 scale sandbag set. Here we go, here's the TAMIYA 135 scale sandbag set, and I thought I'd pick some of these up just to have a look at them and see if they'd be any good for Warhammer 40,000. So in this video you'll see them unboxed, we'll take them out, cut them off the sprue, and then I'll put them alongside some 40k models so you can see if this 135 scale actually works. There's not going to be any of these items in here, they're just showing off some of the other products in the range, but you are going to get 48 sandbags, and there's going to be two varieties. So we'll have a close look at each of them and see how they work differently on some of the vehicles and alongside some of the other units. You can see here in the images they've got some of the sandbags on the tanks, but mostly I'll be using these to build some little gun placements and little walls and bunkers. Let's get this open then and grab all the contents out. So we're going to get this bag with two sprues in and a little instruction guide. There's not going to be any build instructions for these. We're basically going to snip them off and they're going to be ready to use once they've been trimmed up. So yeah, not a lot going on there with the important information. So we'll get that out of the way. And here are the sandbags in this little bag. So we'll get this open and we can check them out. So there's going to be two sprues altogether. Each one's going to contain 24 of the sandbags, and they're going to be exactly the same sprues, but you can see there is a little bit of variation. On the left one at the bottom you've got 6 that are slightly more curved than the other 18 on the sprue there, so those ones at the bottom are different to the ones above them. But we'll get that out of the way and we'll just focus on one sprue, getting a little bit closer, and then there we go. So you can see some of the details on these. So a little bit of stitching, tiny bit, not too much, so not too much detail, but they certainly are going to look like sandbags once they're all piled up and painted. And on the back, they're hollow as well. So yeah, not an awful lot to look at. They are only sandbags after all, but they have got the seams down the side. And so yeah, I think these are going to be great once they're snipped out and built up in lots of different ways. I'll grab the ruler and we can have a look at the exact size of these. So you can see they're about 24mm long. And then what's that, about 12mm in width. So yeah, these are going to be a decent size. They're bigger than the ones you get in the 40k sets, and there you can see in inches. That'll give you an idea. And then just the actual thickness, you're looking at about 4mm altogether. So now I'll go and get these trimmed up, and then we can have a look at them alongside some of the 40k models. Here's all the sandbags removed from the sprue. I've got to tidy them up a little bit, but they're all snipped off. And here's the two different ones. So you can see there, these ones are a little bit plumper and a little bit more curved over the top. And the majority of them are nice and flat, so you can build the walls with those and maybe use the curved ones on the top. And what I thought I'd do is grab some of this DAS clay, and then I can use these as a guide, and then I can make loads of them. So yeah, these could be the ones that could go on top of the walls, and then I could make loads of walls out of this clay and make sure it's all the right size, because these are going to be super simple to make out of clay. Here's a crude little wall just to show you how they compare alongside some of the Astra Militarum Guard, and so they're going to work nicely. Got them, 4 high there, so that's going to give a little bit of cover, and be great to build some little dioramas. I think they might be a little bit big for these heavy weapon squads. Here's a mortar for my Katachan, so yeah, maybe not so good. 3 might work well, but I probably won't be using them for the heavy weapon squads. But if you did want to use them, here's a comparison between the sandbags that do come with the Katachan heavy weapon squads. And you can see they're much bigger, and yeah, there's a lot more shape and things going on with the one on the right that's included compared to this flat one. But there's no reason why you couldn't use it. But for me, I just think they're a little bit big and would take away from the main model on this base. As the box recommended, you might want to put some on your tank. I won't be doing that, certainly not going to cover that vent up, that would be crazy. But here we go, we're putting some on the corners here. So with those hollowed out pieces, that's going to make it nice and easy for it to sit there. So you could put a few sandbags on if you wanted to, but I think that's going to cover up a lot of the awesome detail, especially on the Lehman Russ. So while it'll certainly work on the vehicles, that's not the way I'll be using these. And the main idea I've got for them is in some kind of terrain. So I've just mocked this up out of some paper. I'm going to get some corrugated card and make a big hanger about this size. So say an A3 piece of paper, fold it up like this. And then I want to get it big enough so the tanks can go in there if I want to. Also to provide lots of cover. and then I'll put some sandbags here and build some little gun placements or some little bunkers, and I think that'll be a real fun use. So I want to involve it more in the terrain than in the actual models and the mini dioramas, and so having little areas like this dotted around I think it's going to add loads of character to the battlefield. And then putting things like watchtowers and fences with these piled up close alongside barrels and jerry cans and things like that is a great way to go. So nice little set. It's very cheap and a great way to get a good like template to use to get some of that clay and then make a lot more of them for terrain and things like that. So yeah, happy I got these. I could certainly recommend them, and for the price I paid £3.58 at Wayland Games. I'll put a link to Wayland Games down in the description. Also Element Games, you can pick them up there, and one of the two will usually always have them in stock, so you can save 10%, sometimes up to 20% on your products there. You also support the channel here, as I get a small commission from every sale made. Just a quick review of these sandbag set, but I could certainly recommend them for Warhammer 40k. I think the scale works, and when you're building walls and little bunkers, it's going to work. And, you know, having them a little bit bigger might save you a little bit time in assembly, but I don't think it looks ridiculous in size, and I think it could certainly work, especially with the terrain. But what do you think about these? Do you think they would work in 40k, and can you imagine using these alongside your models? Let me know down in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope it gave you a good idea about what comes in this little box set, and also how this 135 scale will work with 40k. Thanks so much for watching. If you did like the video, please hit the like button, subscribe for more videos like this, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to join me next time on Tabletop Skirmish Games. I'd like to say a huge thank you to my Patreon supporters who make these daily videos possible, and if you're interested in joining the community, it'd be awesome to see you there, and I'll put a link for that in the description down below.